Well, today on Truth Bomb, let's first take a moment to enjoy the little military flex Donald Trump exercised when Vladimir Putin dropped into Alaska to talk all things Ukraine. Yes, a nicely timed B-2 flyover there. Putin, I'm sure, would have been quite jealous of the hardware. Russia, of course, has nothing like that sort of kit. But just to make sure his guest got the message, this is what Vladimir Putin would have seen out the window of the motorcade as they proceeded to the talks. And Putin also had an encounter with the free and democratic American media, which left him looking, I have to say, a little bit like, dare I say, Sleepy Joe.
Thank you, press. Thank you, press. Let's go. Thank you, press. Thank you, press. Thank you, press. Let's go. Come on, guys. Come on, guys. Let's go. Let's go. Thank you, press. Let's go. Thank you, press.
I'm not sure what he said there, but I think it was, I'd throw you all out a window if I could. Anyway, all that being over, I thought we'd now crack on to the state of the left in the United States. And let's just say they're having a normal one. Now, of course, if you've been anywhere near this program since its inception or paid attention to U.S. politics through the entire sweep of history from Hillary to Harris, you know that one of the big things they all love to say on the left is that Donald Trump, well, he's a threat to democracy.
Now his final target is democracy itself.
President Biden has been clear-eyed about the threat that the former president represents to our democracy.
Fact of the matter is that he is a threat to democracy.
No, I think we should be clear that he is a threat to democracy.
Do you think that the rhetoric, though, needs to be toned down?
I think his rhetoric should be toned down, absolutely.
Listen, these are the facts. He is a threat, period, point blank.
I just want you to know from your senator, as someone who sits in that room on your behalf, I am in camp number one. He is an existential threat to democracy.
These guys are just weird. That's where they are. So it isn't much else. Don't give them the power. Look, are they a threat to democracy? Yes. Are they going to take our rights away? Yes. Are they going to put people's lives in danger? Yes.
Okay, so I want you to keep all of that in mind. Now, remember, according to everybody you just heard there, Donald Trump is a threat to democracy. This is how the left side of politics sees it, and they, of course, set themselves up in doing so as the standard bearers for saying we are the protectors of the U.S. Constitution and democracy and the rule of law and, dare I say it, norms, right? Well, but then I ask myself, why does one of their chief propaganda organs, the New York Times, keep running pieces like this? Now, earlier this past week, the Times posted up this little gem from two former National Security Council staffers entitled, "We used to think the military would stand up to Trump. We were wrong." Now, to read the piece, it's basically a wish that the U.S. military would break the chain of command, the civilian chain of command, and stop obeying the civilian commander-in-chief. Really, I know. And they seem to be hinting here that they would much rather there was maybe some sort of 7 days in May kind of coup against the administration. But then you can say it was one piece, but not to be outdone. On Friday, the Times then ran this: abolish the Senate, end the Electoral College, pack the court. Why the left can't win without a new constitution. You got that? To save American democracy, which is lefty speak for ensuring the Democrats are always in power for absolutely forever, well, to save that, we need to destroy the fundamental institutions of American democracy, right down to rewriting the Constitution. Well, I tell you what, New York Times, we see you. But here's where it gets fascinating. A week or two ago, we spoke about a little American tradition called gerrymandering. And don't ask why it's called that, but it's just a funny name for the way one party, when they get control of a state, draws funny shapes on their map to make sure they get as many safe seats as possible in Congress. And if you'll recall, we spoke about what's going on in Texas, where House Democrats literally fled the state to avoid debating or voting on a Republican plan to redraw that state's congressional districts to stop crazy shape electorates like the one you see on your screen that they say favors Democrats. Well, now we've got an update. The Democrats have finally given up the fight on this one, but now it's California. And their hard left progressive governor, Gavin Newsom, who also, by the way, wants to run for president in 2028, and he might be in for a chance. Well, he's on a bit of a rescue mission here. Newsom, you see, he wants to redraw California's congressional map. And leaked data suggests the new map will be drawn so that the Democrats pick up 5 extra seats in a state that already sends a lopsided 43 Democrats to Congress and just 9 Republicans. Yet where in the last congressional election, the vote split far more evenly, with Dems winning the popular vote 60-40. Scott Jennings, who I think is the lone voice of sense and reason on CNN, broke down what's going on.
Let me summarize Gavin Newsom's speech today. Gerrymandering is evil. Please vote for my gerrymandering. Of course, he failed to mention that it's already gerrymandered. Republicans get 40% of the vote in California. They have 17% of the congressional seats under a supposed independent redistricting commission. So we're going to further gerrymander the gerrymandering
by that standard.
Indeed, I mean, to Gavin Newsom and the rest, I'm sorry, how the hell is all of this saving that democracy, that precious democracy you're always on about? Oh, that's right. Sorry, I forgot. We're talking about Democrat rules, which, when you break it down, means democracy is only democracy when the Democrats win.